welcome back to the Spoony Stitcher channel. I'm Shannon the Spoony Stitcher. You're inside the stitchery. I'm so happy you're here today. Welcome back to our plastic bag crochet along, it seems. But no, there are more patterns than the plastic bag, I promise you. This one just took 3 videos. Sorry about that. But anyway, today we are making the Grinch or the Snowman. Whichever one you're making, it doesn't matter. They are both exactly the same until you get to the details. But fun fact, the Grinch eyes and the snowman's nose, same pattern. You're welcome. Also, the eyes will take you no time at all for either one. None of this is hard. The sewing isn't hard. I don't do hard. I don't do complicated on this channel. I like quick and easy, hence the title. So, if you're ready, let's make plastic bag holders. Okay, so you just finished row 15, which is a B row, so slip stitch into your top of your chain 3. And now, for this next row, row 16, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This one, however, will not count as a double crochet. We're going to double crochet into the same stitch, and that's the stitch we're going to mark. Now we are going to double crochet into every double crochet below and into the chains. So at the end you should have 40 double crochet all the way around. So I'm going to show you how to work into the chain. Okay, so that was 2. Now we have a chain. So you can work directly into the chain or you can work into the chain space. Chain space might be easier, but you have to make sure you don't accidentally miss any of these stitches. So if you're working into the space, just like that, and then make sure that you don't miss this next one right there. Okay, so each fan will have 5 stitches, and since you have 8 fans, you'll have 40 stitches at the end, and I will meet you then. Okay, at the end of round 16, you'll have 40 double crochet all the way around. If you are making the Grinch and the Snowman, go ahead and slip stitch to the top of the double crochet that you marked. Now we're going to chain 1. And we're going to half double crochet in that same chain, stitch, sorry. Okay, so if you don't know how to half double crochet, you just wrap your hook, insert, pull up 3 loops on your hook, wrap, and go through 3. And that's all there is to it. And we're going to do that in every single stitch around. We are going to do this for 6 rows, and what you do at the end is you are going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 1 again, half double crochet in that stitch, and continue around. You will always have 40 stitches, and do that for 6 rounds, and I will meet you at the end of the 6th round. So, chain 30 at the end, and you're now going to fold it in half so that it looks semi-even, and slip stitch to the other side anywhere that looks like it's the middle. Slip stitch over 2, and now we're going to double crochet into the chain and do that all the way back across. Just double crochet into the chain, do that back across the chain, so I'm at the end. I'm going to skip these 2 stitches, go into this one, and slip stitch. Now this is fine, except this is going to have, a decent amount of weight on it, So I like to make sure that nothing's going to happen. So we're going to turn our entire piece. And we are going to slip stitch just in the front loops across the front. And right here, which is right in front of our chain. And then, I'm going to turn my piece sideways here. I am going to half double crochet back across the chain because I don't want anything happening to this handle. That can be a little tricky because, you know, you have to work in these stitches that aren't really stitches. Just have approximately 30 and I'll meet you when you get to the end. To finish, we are going to skip these 2 stitches and slip stitch into this one right here. Look at that nice thick strap we've got. Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. Okay, now fasten off with a decently long tail. I'm just gonna fasten off. Then just hide your tail any way you see fit. We are going to make the snowman's nose and the Grinch's eyes. They are exactly the same, except for the Grinch you make 2. For the snowman you make 1. Also the snowman would probably be best in orange, and the Grinch's eyes I recommend a pale yellow. But it's completely up to you. Okay, once you have everything you need, we can get started. Now you need a 4mm or a 3.75mm hook to make the nose and the eyes. So make sure you have one of those because we've been using a 6mm, so this is a little different. Okay, to make the Grinch's eyes or the snowman's nose, obviously I've got orange, so I'm making a nose. You are going to make a slip knot and chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are going to work around this entire chain, so I do recommend a stitch marker. In the 3rd chain from the hook, that is right here. So remember, we don't count the loop on our hook. We count 1, 2, 3. So it goes right there. We are going to make 3 double crochets. 1, and I'm going to mark that one right there. 2 and 3. In the next chain, we are going to double crochet, half double crochet in the next 2, single crochet in the next 2, and now in this top one here, or the last one on this side, we are going to single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2. Now, this little bump, this back bump on the 2nd chain from the hook is where we are going to slip stitch to make a little picot. And we're going to single crochet in the exact same stitch as we put the other single crochet, which now gets us on the other side of the chain. We are going to single crochet, make 2 half double crochets in the next 2, so that's just 1, and then in the next one another one, two double crochets, not an increase, just 1 in the next 2, 1, then the next stitch is 2, and then finish off with a double crochet increase in this last stitch right here. So now we have 2 in the same stitch, 1 and 2. And we are going to slip stitch where our stitch marker is. Okay, fasten off with a decent sized tail because you are going to use it to sew onto your piece, unless you choose to glue it, which is perfectly fine. But you still need a semi-long tail to do the invisible finish, which I'm going to show you in 1 second. There we go. Okay, thread your yarn needle, and then we are going to see where our yarn comes out. We are going to skip over the next stitch, go into the stitch after that, and go under both loops and pull gently on our yarn here. Now we are going to go where that piece of yarn came out. We are going to go back down into that. And pull gently. And look at that. Very nice little finish. Now I'm going to just pick a couple of stitches back here. And get myself towards the outside, but not there yet. Still be on the back before you start sewing. Okay. If you don't like this hole, you can close it up with your long tail. So just, you know, just weave back and forth. To be honest, it really doesn't bother me, but I'll show you guys how to close it if it bothers you. There you go. Super easy. Now I just got to get my yarn to the outside again. There we go. Okay. I'm going to use my short tail and I'm going to just sew this in just so it doesn't get in my way when I'm sewing. Or gluing, whatever. So, if you are making the snowman's nose, I like to do this. Take your thumb and your pointer finger and pinch really hard at the base right here and pull the tip of the nose like so. Boop. Just to make it a little longer. There. That's a good snowman nose, don't you think? Make a magic ring. Make 5 half double crochet into the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull the ring slightly closed. Slip stitch to the first one. I know you can't see what I'm doing because it's black yarn. Sorry. And fasten off with the tail so you can sew it to the face. Chain 1, pull it out. Oh yeah, and pull your little tail so your ring is closed. Now just make 2 of those, or more if you want to use it for the mouth as well. So we have our nose and our eyes. Take the tail with your magic ring and pick a stitch, not a hole. And then because it's black yarn, you can sew it however you like. That is one of the beauties of black yarn. You can pretty much sew it any way you want because nobody can see a thing. We didn't even do the invisible join to fasten this off because with black yarn it doesn't matter. Do try to stick as close to the black circle as possible though, so that none of this black yarn shows on the other side. That's the only thing I'd recommend, really. If you're giving it as a gift, sew it really, really well. Just so it doesn't come apart on them, you know. And then to hide my tail, just gonna go through these stitches right here, right behind the eye, so that nothing shows on the other side. You can weave it in a few times. I'm not. This is just for demonstrations, so it's fine. I also made that eye a little high. I probably should have come down a little bit more, but that's fine. So I would recommend your eye go, you know, about here. But mine are up here, so that's where they're going now. So I'm going to sew on my other eye, and then the next one you will see the Grinch, and it will show you how to sew on his eye, but it's the same way you'll sew on the carrot nose. Just try to make sure that, you know, this little ball area is between the two eyes. And there you go. Now, for our Grinch, if you are sewing his eyes, well, honestly, this works for the nose as well, but just a different placement. But if you are sewing on the eyes, I'm going to show you how to sew the eyes. If you are gluing, you can skip this part. So I've already positioned my eyes where my half double crochets start. I go up 2, and that's where the tip of the eyes should be, and go all the way up to the second row but beneath the top, and just kind of turn them inward because he's not a very happy person. So I came out here. I'm going to go under the next stitch like so, and then grab a couple of loops behind the eye. Don't go too high because it'll show, but if you go behind the eye, it won't show. And back under the eye. So go under 2 loops, and it's too far. There we go. Back in. I am also using a chenille needle, so my needle is extremely sharp, and it's going to catch more stitches than just going in the spaces. So you could do that as well, so that you're definitely catching fabric, but it's up to you. Okay, that's pretty secure, so I can take out my little stitch marker that's holding it in place. There we go. I'm gonna go back in, and sometimes you can multitask and do 2 steps at once. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but sometimes it does. And that's too far. There we go. If you are using a chenille needle or any kind of sharp tip needle, be very careful because they hurt if they catch you. You can use a blunt tip for this project if I wasn't clear. You absolutely can. These eyes I used a 3.75, and so they are slightly smaller than my carrot nose for my snowman. And I prefer it, but it's up to you. That's why I gave you both size options for your hooks. Okay, and once you go all the way around, go all the way through, and you should be able to see your eye color through the bag here. So I'm going to like grab two at once kind of thing. So make sure you're also going through the yellow in my case. And yes, sewing on the nose is the exact same process, just a different spot, obviously. And I'll show you where to place that. You just don't want it going anywhere, so here we go. Fasten off. And there's part of his eyes. Now you can add black beads, you can add a really tiny magic circle of black yarn, you could add a really big French knot, you could cut little pieces of felt, whatever you want for his little black pupils. And I still have a long tail. Give him his eyebrows. If we can make it curve. If I try and tack it down right there, maybe. Really small. Yeah, it's not bad. I know I'm not really explaining a lot, so I hope you're just watching, because I don't know how to explain a lot of what I'm doing. Some of it I made up today, so... So we have a grumpy Grinch. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial and you either made the Grinch or the snowman. I would love to see it, so you can email me at any time or post in the private Facebook group. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to make the gingerbread man, go back to day 1, do exactly what you did for the Grinch or the snowman in brown, and then day 2 is the continuation on how to make the gingerbread man. So if you'd like to make him, he's in video 2. So tomorrow we are making ornament coasters. These are fun, easy coasters that take 20 minutes. That's right, you heard me right. 20 minutes. That's it. And virtually no sewing. All you sew is your ends. That's it. 20 minutes. Make them in multiple colors. Lots of fun colors. This one is smaller because I used a very thin yarn for this, but these are all the same. So make them in lots of colors. Come back tomorrow, make ornament coasters with me. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. Bye.